Hi everyone, it's Debbie with BookAndBuJo. Welcome if you're new, welcome back if you've been here before. It's time for my first HRCYED 3.0 update. Let's see what I read in July. Okay, here is the bingo board, and so far it's all just the white and purple, as it should be as we start out. I did get all of my books into the tracker, and we don't have to worry about points or any of that kind of stuff this time around, which is kind of nice. And these are all the books that I read in July that fit for HRCYED. I'm sure I have some others that will fit, but I didn't use them. So these are the ones I used. Stats, so total of 11 books, 4,293 pages, and 126.45 hours of audiobooks. Total spent $45.24, which wasn't necessarily this year because some of the books I purchased in like 2024 and 2020 and 2025. So overall, average of 2.8 days to read my books and an average of 4.14 ratings, which is good because July was kind of a mixed bag for ratings. I had some 2s and I had some 5s and everything in between. I will go over those books and the stats a little bit more in my next video. An average of 390 pages and an average of 11.5 hours. Total out of this world 4, and of course the month most read, July, because that's the only month so far. And I did start July 7th this year. It was really hard because there was a lot of books that I wanted to start July 1st, but I couldn't because they were for HRCYED, so I had to wait. But that's okay. Here's the map, mainly US and Sweden. What book did I read from Sweden? Oh, no, I remember now. All the rest were in the US, so there we go. So we have New York and Louisiana, Texas, and California. For publisher, we have Indie Books is the most at 54%, which is awesome. I love that. We have Penguin, we had one book, Macmillan Audio, Hachette, and Simon & Schuster. So most of those, I think, were more audiobooks. But that's awesome. I love that. New versus reread, all new, no rereads. Well, that I get counted for this. I did have one reread for July, but we'll get to that when I get to my stats for the month, a little bit later this month. For series, I just started 3. Standalones, I had 5. In progress, 2, and up to publication, 1. Not too bad. I thought I had finished a series, but no, there's another book coming out in it, so nope. Means read, mainly audiobooks, had 7 of those. Ebook and audio, 1. Ebook, 2. And physical and audio, 1. For genres, I had a nice little mix here. Non-fiction, I had 2. For horror thriller, 1. Sci-fi thriller, 1. Contemporary romance, fantasy romance, sci-fi romance. So that's 3 sci-fis. I like that. Oh, no, it's 2 sci-fis. Love that. Historical, dystopian sci-fi. So there's a 3rd sci-fi. Good sci-fi month. Contemporary and epic high fantasy. Prompts. These are the prompts that I used, but I will get into that in just a minute. Covers. We have a wide array of colors, mainly teal and blue. That seems to be, a lot of the books I read seem to be blue of some kind. Light blue, dark blue, teal. Yeah. It's weird. I didn't think there were so many blue books, but there are. And then just one of each of the other colors. And then we move to audience. So we had 9 adult, 1 new adult, and 1 young adult. Publication year, 1 from each of these years and 2 from 2023. I think that's supposed to be 2024, not 224. I'll have to fix that. 2017, so I think it's mainly all from the 2000s. Yeah. And then all of the authors were just 1, so each book was from a different one. But then this book is from the 1800s, so I'm not sure why that's not showing up over here. Yeah, because there's only 10 of them on there. Let me look at this really quick. So here's that. Oh, that's why. This is $18.99. That's why. I thought that was weird. All right, much better. There we go. All right, log. So I did get everything put in here for the different prompts that I completed. So it does say you need 150 books. I have read 10, and then there's a little tracker that kind of shows you where you are in your progress bar, not tracker, progress bar. So I do love that addition this year. That was cool. And then side quests. And I went with read a book with teal or turquoise of some kind or of bluish green cover. And I read Becoming by Michelle Obama. And when I looked up light teal, it was almost this exact shade of teal. It was crazy. I was like, yes, that definitely works then. So that's awesome. And that gave me, a prompt spell. And the prompt spells are up here. So those are the different ones that you could choose from. And I decided to go with Magical Unicorn, and that is to use a fantasy animal for the animal square. So instead of having to have an actual animal, I could use a fantasy one, which is great because on one of the books, it looks like it's a horse on the cover, but I think it's actually a unicorn. So I can still use that book, but have it be a unicorn instead. All right, let's go ahead and get into the prompts. So, I did submit that. I did read it and I did submit it, but I have not used the reward yet for that. Choose Your Party is the first one. And I did read Heartsworn by David Estes, and that's the second book in the Forsworn Oath series. And that one was for Druid, as there are mages in the story. So I did get one. And then we moved to Periodic Table, and I have not gotten anything for that yet. Familiar Terms, nothing. Regional Traipsing, nothing for that one. Curriculum, the road trip one, Bookception. I am noticing more and more books that mention books as I'm reading them, which is kind of fun. Secret prompts I did. So I did do a doom scroll, and I came up with Fabulous Bodies, and I happened to get that from my library that day, which was awesome. Love that. So I did read that one. So I got that one done. And let's see. I still have two more that I'm not sure what I'm going to read for yet. The Read Outside book and Most Recent Acquisition, but I think I know what I'm going to use for that. And I just got it. It's my most recent acquisition. So I am definitely going to be using that one, and that's The Solstice Heir by G. Juniper. It's the second book in the Thrice Kingdom series, and I loved The Solstice Court, and I can't wait to see what happens in this next one. And she did say there are dragons in it this time, so that's really fun. Cover styles, nothing yet. Titular counting, I have 2. So I did read the longest ones. It wasn't necessarily on purpose, but my library hold came in for both of those. And I was like, well, oh, all right, I will. And that is And Every Morning the Way Home Gets Longer and Longer by Frederick Bachman. And this one was really good. It was very interesting. I believe he wrote this more as just something for himself, and it wasn't necessarily meant to be published, which makes sense because it reads a little bit more, I guess, kind of like a diary entry sort of thing than a fully fledged out story. But it is very impactful. It's about dementia and Alzheimer's a little bit, but it doesn't, I feel like it handles it very well and nicely, I guess, in a careful and comforting way. So I did really enjoy that one. And then Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe, which I thought was more of a middle grade fun story, you know, like Tristan Strong punches a hole in the sky, that kind of story. No, this is a YA, and this is more about finding yourself and discovering who you are and where you fit in society and things like that. And I thought it was an excellent book. It was written really well. I think it handled a lot of the topics really well also. And I would definitely recommend both of those. And I did do a dice roller for this one, and because I had a couple of different options for that one, and I forgot to screen record it. So you didn't get to see it, but it did come up as a number 4 just for the titular counting in general, and not necessarily this particular prompt, but it will work. And it came up as a number 4, which is queer author and or stories. And that one definitely works for it. All right, moving to fiction to author. Nothing new here. And then Shiratori, I did start Lightbringer. I read that one, and now I just need to get to Right Thing Right Now for my R book. So I got one more done. So I do still need to do a little dice roll for this one, but I'm not going to do that yet. I'll wait until next month maybe for that one. HRCYED mashup. Nothing yet, but I do have one of these in my August TBR. And that's Death Rider. So we'll see how that goes. Titular digits, I do have one, and that was 100 Rules for Living to 100 by Dick Van Dyke. I love that one. It was so good. It was entertaining. It was informational. I learned some things, and it just was so much fun. I grew up watching Dick Van Dyke and loved everything he was in. Mary Poppins, the Dick Van Dyke Show, and all of that. And so it was really fun to get to read a little bit about his life. Rainbow titles. Nothing yet, but I'm really looking forward to Red Shirts. I need to read that soon. Animal Families, I did read one. I swapped this book out for, I don't remember what I had in there originally, but it was like I think it was a cat shifter book. But I did read The House Witch. It has a cat on the cover. The cat is featured prominently in the book, so I counted this one. So The House Witch 3 by Delham Hawk. So good. It was so cute. And it had a great ending, I think. Biomes. I actually do have a book that I read in July that I could use for planes, and that was My Antonia by Willa Cather, but I'm going to hold off on that one. But I am going to put it down here in case I don't get to Elegy and I need something. I need to fix that spot, then I can plug My Antonia in. Remix. I did read one, and that is Pride and Prejudice in Space by Sybil Nelson. It was cute. Not the most amazing book ever, but it was entertaining, and I enjoyed reading it. I did give it 4 stars. And for that one, it did fit the non-white author, and the main character is also non-white. And that one fits for the alternate universe. So they are on a whole other planet. Earth is just not livable, and so humans are living amongst the other species on other planets, and that's where the story comes in. It is so cute. Apparently this is the first book in the Jane Austen in Space series, and I think the other ones are Mansfield Park, maybe Emma. There's 2 or 3 other ones in the series, and they, I'm sure, are going to be just as entertaining. The other ones, these 2, I'm not sure if they will both work or not, especially with the different options that are here, and I'm not quite sure where they fit yet. Different POV maybe, but I already have that one here. So we'll see once I read them if they're actually going to fit. I may have to swap those 2 out, but that will come later in the year. Food Pyramid, nothing yet. Although I did have a couple books that might work that I read, but I didn't count them. Weather, again, nothing yet. It's Your Birthday, nothing yet. But I did find that there is a Celtic zodiac, and it's all trees. And for my birth month, again, it's separated the same way as a normal zodiac, so there's 2 different ones in each month. So the first half of December, the last half of December. But the first half, which is where my birthday falls, is the Elder Tree. So I could find a book that has the Elder Tree, but the other one is the Birch Tree, which I think is one of the same ones. And yeah, the Birch Tree is the same for the last half, but I could use an Elder Tree as well if I wanted to. So I just thought that was fun. I didn't realize there was a Celtic zodiac as well. And then we have backlist author. Nothing yet. Although I did read some David Estes, just it's still his newest series. Can't count those. Pocket Monsters, nothing yet. Anthology of Authors, nothing yet. But Unavowed is on my August TBR. So we'll see how that one goes. Second Chances and Hidden Gems. Okay, so this one, actually, I can swap that because I had originally DNF'd this book. It is a compilation of the first 4 books in the series. The 5th one comes out this year, and I will not be reading it. But I was doing something and needed an audiobook, and I had already listened to all my audiobooks, so I just finished reading it. And it ended up being, the second book is the lowest point for me. It was the most dark, seedy underground part of it. And then the 4th book also was in there. The 3rd book wasn't. The 1st and the 3rd book weren't near as bad. But that is Cyber Hunter Origins by D.B. Gooden. And not to say that it's a horrible book, it's just not my thing. I don't like the seedy underground kind of stuff. It's just too much negative spice, I guess you could say, with, sexual assault and a whole bunch of just the demeaning of, not for me. But I read it, so I'm gonna use it. I'm counting it. And that counted for the under 3.5 rating, which it has a 2-star on Goodreads and Storygraph. So, yeah. And The Awakening I did use from Kate Chopin, and that is recommended from a different taste friend. Now, my sister and I do have some similar taste, but there's a lot of classics that she's like, this is my favorite ever. And I was like, oh, I appreciate it. I enjoyed it, but I probably wouldn't reread it again. And that was The Awakening. I know I mentioned this, but I did read Awakenings, which is an essay compilation of, I think it's 6 or 7 different authors. And it's all about how The Awakening by Kate Chopin changed their life. And I think I enjoyed The Awakening more and got more out of it after having read this as alongside it. And yeah, so I did really enjoy it. Not my favorite, but did like it. And I would recommend it. It's definitely interesting. I think as classics go, it's fairly easy reading, easy to understand. It's a novella, so it's on the short side as well. So if you want to dip your toes into some classics, there you go. It's based in Louisiana, and this is, of course, in the 1800s. So you got some of those problematic things in there with slaves and all of that. But if you can kind of take that as it was in that point in time in history, there it is. Let's move me one more time. Oh, and I think that was actually the last one. So then it's just the prompts and how to play. So yeah, nothing to cross off, no check boxes and no green spots, which I wasn't necessarily expecting quite yet. I know a lot of people like to go in and they'll read all of the books for one of the prompts and then they can check that one off. But I'd rather just read what I'm reading and fit them in and then be surprised and excited when I finish a square. So that's kind of my way of going about HRCYED. That's kind of what I did this last year for HRCYED 2.0, and that's kind of what I'm planning on doing for 3.0. At some point, I would like to go back and actually do HRCYED 1.0 and do all of the prompts from that one, but that will not be this year. That one's not going to happen, but we'll see. I can always pull up that spreadsheet and see whatever books I'm not using for HRCYED 3.0 and see which ones may fit in there. And then if I have time in a month here or there, squeeze in a couple extra books for that. We'll see. We'll see. And yeah, short and sweet. That's all I got for you for my update. All right, so I got 11 books read, 10 books for the actual bingo board, and then 1 book for the side quest. And I'm looking forward to seeing how many books I can get through in August. Wish me luck. And I wish good luck for all of you on your TBR journeys for HRCYED 3.0. And I look forward to seeing you again next month. So until next time, keep reading. Bye!